is rated MALSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Yeah.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Well, welcome back for another fabulous round of the Rated R Safety Show. Anyways, today's Tuesday, January the 18th of 2022. Don't say one, because that's definitely a mess up. It is day 18th of the year, and only 347 days left to go. Anyways, I hope everything was good and grand inside of your neck of the woods. I don't know if you got the 3-dayer. I don't know if you got the 1-dayer. I don't know if you got the 2-dayer. Hopefully you were able to enjoy some time off prior to us returning into this magnitude of stuff that we'll have going on for you today. So anyways, how are you? How you doing? How are things? Anyways, we're broadcasting live from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM. And then, of course, we are hanging out with our friends and colleagues at that place that sometimes likes to work and sometimes doesn't. Radio Big. Okay, I'm not picking on the people at Radio Big. I'm just saying, hey, some system problems over the last little bit, but hey, those things happen. So we just go from there. So anyways, let's start talking. Let's start moving. Let's start grooving. So just in case if you want to hang out and do the things that we do, we will have some level of open phone lines today at callinradio.com. All you have to do is go to the web browser. I know it's such a difficult transition for some. Callinradio.com. All you have to do is just go in there, type away. Type in your little gimmicks, your little information, call-in radio inside of the web browser. Then you're able to text message in, you're able to message in, or you're even able to video chat in. We won't put you on the video, don't worry about that. And you could even, voice-to-voice communication. So a lot of stuff going on there, as always. Anyway, so let's start talking about what was trending with the hashtags as of Ajed, so let's talk about it. Hashtag MLK Day was trending in honor of the national holiday, which is observed on the third Monday of January. It marks the birthday of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., which was originally actually on January the 15th, but it was observed on the 17th. Also, hashtag Betty White Challenge landed on Twitter's top 10 on Monday, which also have been her 100th birthday. Twitter users attached the hashtag to post promoting awareness of animal rescues, a passionate cause for the late actress. So there you go. Also, hashtag Australia has fallen was trending yesterday as Twitter users responded to the drama surrounding the tennis player, as you probably already heard this, who got booted from the country over the vaccination status. Tweets were a mixture of support and disdain. So there you go. And then also on Monday was Darth Vader. Okay, just kidding. Was James Earl Jones celebrated his 91st birthday. So there you go. So there you go, around the list of the things that are going on inside of the world for sure. Okay, so let's start talking right away about the charts. What was on the number 5 song for iTunes, the top 5 songs for Spotify, and if we were on the radio format only, I would just play the damn things and we could listen to them, but that's not the case. So here we go. Here's what we got going on. At number 5 was Jason Aldean with Trouble with a Heartbreak. This is according to iTunes, of course. Jessica DeRoe with Surface Pressure. Hey now. At number 3, Elton John and Dua Lipa with Cold Heart. At number 2, Gail with ABCD EFU. And then at the number 1 song, according to iTunes, was Encanto soundtrack with We Don't Talk About Bruno. So there you go. Okay, at number 5, according to Spotify, was Elton John and Dua Lipa with Cold, Cold Heart. At number 4 was The Weeknd with Sacrifice. At number 3, The Kid Laroi with Justin Bieber with Stay. At number 2, Glass Animals with Heat Waves. And at the number 1 spot was Gale with ABC EDFU. So there you go. In case you were looking for some musica, there is what you got. I have to tell you, as of recent, I've been taking a lot of listen to Princess Goes to the Butterfly Museum. Yeah, that's the name of the band I've been listening to quite a bit. And if you kind of follow along what we do around here, if you take a listen to it and kind of look around and look at the band, you'll kind of figure out why we've been taking a listen to that right around here. So just for the sake of doing so. Anyways, it is 7 minutes past the top of the hour. How can we have a news show without a lot of news? So maybe we should start talking to our friends at Feature Story News for us to talk about the news, to discuss the news, so that way you and I can come back together and really have a discussion. You know I do that shit on purpose, right? Where people think that I'm kind of lost. I'm really not.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. Relief efforts in Tonga are being disrupted by ash covering a runway intended to be used for sending water and supplies in. Aid agencies believe small islands have suffered significant damage after a volcano sent clouds of ash and triggered a tsunami. 2 people are reported to have died, but it's feared the death toll will rise significantly as communications are restored and rescue work continues. UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson is being accused by a former aide of lying about what he knew about a party in Downing Street in May 2020. Dominic Cummings claims he told Boris Johnson the event shouldn't happen, but concerns were waved aside. Downing Street says it's not true that Boris Johnson was warned in advance and insists he thought it was a work event. Civil servant Sue Gray continues her investigation into a series of alleged lockdown-breaking gatherings in and around Downing Street during the pandemic. Justice Secretary Dominic Raab says she must now be allowed to conclude her report.
I think the Prime Minister has been very clear that he believed in good faith it was a work event. He said that to the House of Commons. But we take the charge of double standards very seriously. The Prime Minister does, made that clear to the House of Commons. And that's why Sue Gray is impartially investigating all of this. And I'm not going to comment any further. Her report will come back relatively swiftly now, and there'll be full transparency in relation to it.
A plea in the Delhi High Court from a 12-year-old is urging authorities to provide a roadmap for vaccinating children against COVID-19. Officials say they're working on a plan to expand vaccine coverage, as Ishan Garg reports from New Delhi.
12-year-old Tia Gupta has said in her petition that vaccines for millions of children like her will allow them to safely resume schooling again. While officials have administered more than 1 billion COVID-19 shots, millions under the age of 15 are yet to be vaccinated. Officials say they are working on a roadmap to inoculate those between 12 to 14-year-old by mid-year, but are waiting for more safety data before they make a decision.
The airline industry is calling on the US government to block 5G wireless signals near airports or face severe disruption. A major 5G rollout is scheduled to happen on Wednesday. Ira Spitzer reports from San Francisco.
The industry group Airlines for America is sounding the alarm over the planned 5G rollout in a letter to the Biden administration. The letter, signed by the CEOs of most major U.S. airlines, as well as cargo companies like UPS, warns of tens of thousands of Americans being stranded overseas and commerce grinding to a halt. They're asking for 5G transmission to be disabled within a radius of about 3.2 kilometers from airport runways. One of the concerns is that the planned 5G service on the C-band network could interfere with aircraft safety systems near airports, especially in low visibility conditions. The U.S. telecom industry has disputed that claim.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks, looking today at the World Economic Forum. Normally at this time of year, world leaders, captains of industry and finance, representatives of non-governmental organisations and, of course, reporters are clambering through the snows in the Swiss town of Davos for one of the world's most influential annual economic shindigs. But for the second year running, COVID-19 has put paid to all of that. Davos is a ghost town and a limited programme of events is taking place only virtually.
You know, I think everyone's a little tired of Zoom. I'm not going to lie. We were really looking forward to hosting it in person.
Amanda Russo is head of media content for the World Economic Forum. She says there are still valuable conversations taking place this week.
Environment makes up a quarter of the program, coming on from COP26 and all the discussions there. We thought it was really important for leaders to continue these conversations. We highlighted in our global risk report that there's social justice issues around the world. They're growing, they're getting worse due to COVID-19. I think we can all realize that things have gotten a little bit harder for everybody. So we want to talk about how we can get more government support, more support for businesses to look beyond just the bottom line, to actually talk about how can we help the community? How can we help our people more? How can we make work more flexible?
On Monday, Chinese President Xi Jinping kicked things off, urging greater global integration in a bid to combat the pandemic as he spoke to the scaled-down event. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
To recap the top stories, relief efforts in Tonga are being disrupted by ash covering a runway intended to be used for sending supplies. Boris Johnson's being accused by a former aide of lying about what he knew about a party in Downing Street. A plea in the Delhi High Court from a 12-year-old urging authorities to provide a roadmap for vaccinating children against COVID, and the airline industry is calling on the US government to block 5G wireless signals near airports. That's the latest feature story news. Ollie Barrett reporting.
This show is almost as enjoyable as hearing the sound of the toilet flush. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Do you have a claim and not sure where to turn? Coastal Claim Consultants are professionally licensed and bonded public insurance adjusters employed exclusively by you, the policyholder, to represent you after sustaining an insured loss. They assist policyholders in all aspects of processing the claim, working closely with the insured to provide the most equitable and timely settlement possible. They will provide you with comprehensive service, anything from inspecting the loss site, analyzing damages, compiling claim support data, reviewing applicable coverages, assessing replacement costs of damages, and negotiating your settlement. The adjusters at Coastal Claim Consultants will evaluate your claim for no upfront cost whatsoever. Coastal Claim Consultants' fee is based on contingency contracts and are paid when the insurance company sends you a check and it's in your possession. Coastal Claim Consultants are licensed to assist you in the following states: Florida, Texas, Oklahoma, Georgia, and South Carolina. For more information, go to coastal-cc.com. That's coastal-cc.com. For more information, lighting the way to recovery. Coastal Claim Consultants.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. Look at this little face. How could you not love him?
Hamilton the Pug, Instagram star, and shelter pet. Amazing adoption stories start in shelters. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
You make sure his toys don't have any sharp edges. You taught her what to do when the smoke alarm goes off. You do so much to keep your child safe. But are you using the right car seat for your child? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Protect your child's future at every stage of life. For information on the right seat for your child, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
So you see, son, good manners are important. Should I go through it again?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Exactly. Always say please, thank you, you're welcome, and excuse me. Sit up straight, hold doors open, don't speak with your mouth full, keep your elbows off the table. Share your things, play nice, and generally treat others the way you'd like to be treated. Got it?
Got it.
And stop picking your nose.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
I'm a retired school psychologist, and helping people was my thing. After my stroke, when Meals on Wheels started, I was on the other end of the stick, so to speak. My name is Julius Gaines, creative writer, poet, photographer.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
We all want to make sure that our family is protected in medical emergencies. What many of us don't realize is that health insurance won't always cover the full amount of an emergency medical flight. Even with comprehensive coverage, you could get hit with high deductibles and copays. That's why an Air Medcare Network membership is so important. As a member, If an emergency arises, you won't see a bill for air medical transport when flown by an AMCN provider. Best of all, a membership covers your entire household for as little as $85 a year. AMCN providers are called upon to transport nearly 100,000 patients a year. This is coverage no family should go without. Now, as a Jay Allen Show listener, you'll get up to a $50 e-gift card with a new membership. Simply visit airmedcarenetwork.com/safety and use the offer code SAFETY. And don't forget to tell them that Jay Allen sent you. Okay, there you go. 17 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging and banging. Is it clanging and banging or hanging and banging? Who the freak knows anymore? Anyway, so let's start talking, moving, grooving, and getting everything ready just for you. Anyway, so let's start talking about what is on the hit list. Tomorrow, Americans will be able to visit covidtest.gov. That's covidtest.gov to request 4 free at-home tests paid for by the federal government. The site promises no shipping fees and no credit cards are needed. Expect up to 12 days for the COVID test to arrive. By the way, the Biden administration has also set up a phone hotline for those who can't get online. Meanwhile, the Department of Health and Human Services has instructed hospitals to stop reporting the number of COVID deaths to its database. So I don't know how it all ties in, but it definitely does. Okay, so there you go. A Canadian study shows that 42% of rapid tests generated false positives for COVID. Researchers looked at the results from 537 workplaces across Canada from January to October of last year. Those who showed a positive result from the rapid test were compared against the same results from the more reliable PCR test. 462 of the 1,103 positive rapid test results were later reversed by the PCR test. Coincidentally, a report from the Michigan Auditor General says that between March of 2020 and July of 2021, the state undercounted nursing home deaths by more than 40%. So there you go. A lot of stuff going on with these things as we are talking. So it's sure weird how the inflation of these numbers keep on going, and then kind of some of the other information that's not always there. So it's a combination of some interesting things. So how are you looking at this? Have you taken a COVID test? Would be probably the first question. And if so, was it a rapid one or was it a PCR? Not to be confused with a CPR. Don't worry. I was having a conversation a few days ago with someone, and I decided to tell them how somebody was getting a CPR test and what the hell was going on there. I definitely had lost my mind that day. Besides that, I lose my mind every other day, but I guess that's something else.
Bringing you information you never knew you cared about. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so a lot of stuff always going on inside of here as we're bringing everything to you. So let's talk about some of the things that happened over the weekend. 3 hostages that are held at a Texas synagogue on Saturday escaped as law enforcement tried negotiating with the suspect, a British national named Malik Fazil Akram. A 4th hostage was released earlier in the ordeal. The synagogue's rabbi said on Monday that he and others slowly made their way to the near an exit during the 10-hour ordeal. When the opportunity struck, the rabbi threw the chair at the hostage taker and they ran out. No shots were fired at that point. Shortly thereafter, law enforcement is believed to have entered the building where Akram died, but no confirmation yet if he was shot or if he took his own life. Rumors have swirled of demanding the release of, I can't even mention the name, Afadia Siddiqui, I believe what it is, a woman nicknamed Lady Al-Qaeda, for the efforts of the kill American troops abroad. She's serving an 86-year prison sentence in nearby Fort Worth, Texas. When asked about the motives on Sunday, President Joe Biden said, "I don't think that there was sufficient information to know why he targeted the synagogue, why he insisted on the release of someone who's been in prison for over 10 years, why he has engaged and why he was using an anti-Semitic and anti-Israel comment. So there you go. A lot of stuff going on over the weekend, stuff to think about, stuff to talk about, and all that kind of interesting things.
We are now video streaming the Rated R Safety Show. I don't know why our host has a face for radio. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay. So let's see, 21 minutes into this thing, and I think it's time to not call it, but it's time to do it. So as you know, the markets were closed yesterday due to the holiday, but let's bring in Johnny Smalls and what he had to report for what was happening on Friday. So take a listen.
Here's your Market Beat Minute for Tuesday, January 18th, 2022. Equity markets are ready for a busy earnings season and whatever it may bring. The start of the season came without much excitement due to the rising threat of inflation on bank earnings. While banks are well positioned to benefit from the rising interest environment that's developing, they're also susceptible to the same inflationary pressures that are impacting the rest of the economy. This week will be another lackluster week for earnings. The peak of peak season begins next week. The biggest threat to the market right now is COVID. The rising number of positive cases threatens to keep America homesick, if nothing else, and that is a threat to the economy, corporate earnings, and the stock market. With the global supply chain already strained, another hiccup could have long-lasting and far-reaching repercussions. You can get the inside track from Wall Street's brightest minds delivered directly to your inbox every day at marketbeatminute.com.
Okay, thank you, Johnny Smalls, for that one, because those things are always important as we're moving and grooving and talking about all the shiznit that is going on here. Whoa, that was an extreme close-up. Okay, so there you go, some stuff always going on. Let's get it moving and grooving. Let's start talking about some other things that are going on. More than 20 million Chinese people are believed to be in total lockdown as the communist country enforces zero COVID policy. The government there was gotten extremely authoritarian over the COVID mitigation efforts ahead of the Winter Olympics to be hosted in Beijing next month. The lockdown policy is expected to worsen as the ongoing global supply chain fiasco. Already, Volkswagen and Toyota have announced that they are temporarily closing down factories because of the lockdown orders. So there you go. One of China's 4 major port cities is going to be closed down. So the Beijing Organization Committee announced on Monday that they are scrapping ticket sales and will instead invite groups of spectators to be present on site during the games as the country struggles to wrangle the spread of COVID infections. So let's talk about this because it's going to get some interesting times here. If you're starting to see this going on now, do you think, I know that it's so close, will there be that word that nobody wants to talk about? Some cancellations when it comes to this information, because you know how it goes. People want to jump out and not do some of these things, some of these events. Do you agree with it? I don't know. Do you disagree with it? I don't know. What do you think that it's in the best interest of the general public before it actually gets done? It's just stuff to think about for sure. So let's talk about the Hunga Haipa underwater volcano in the Pacific that erupted on Saturday, triggering a tsunami warnings across the region. The hardest hit was the island of nation Tonga, whose main island is just 90 miles from the epicenter. A 4-foot swell was initially reported in the remote locations in isolation that has complicated efforts to the investigation damage. Locals in Tonga reported the sky turning dark as ash clouds blocked the sun. The volcano continued eruption throughout the weekend and into Monday, and no further tsunami warnings were issued. The central part of the volcano had previously peaked about sea level, but it appears to be completely submerged, suggesting an enormous explosion. So there you go. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine sitting through that? All of a sudden, you get a tsunami warning. You look at the stupid sky, and you notice that, hey, it's getting black. You're thinking that they're living in Dante's Peak, the movie, and you're wondering what the hell's going on. Now, if I remember when I was a kid, there was like 2 volcano movies that came out back to back, Dante's Peak being one of them. And boy, there were some cluster Fs in regards of some movies on how that was portrayed at the time. But could you imagine that? You get a warning on your phone. There's a tsunami coming. You look out, it's all pitch black. You're seeing ash coming from the sky. I mean, you're probably going to be questioning some things in your life at that particular moment. At least that's the way I look at it.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
So take a listen to this one. Forget porch theft. Burglars are going right into the source to rip off your package. A Los Angeles area journalist named John Schreiber posted on Twitter photos and videos of a train track surrounded by each side by discarded shipping boxes opened by thieves and vandals. Schreiber said that along with empty boxes, unused COVID tests, fishing lures, EpiPens, they were a slew of crap as far as the eye can see. And it gets worse. On December the 20th of last year, Union Pacific Railroad sent a letter to the Los Angeles District Attorney outlining the damages that had already been done. The letter said that it was an astonishing 90 containers were being compromised per day over the year as the thefts caused more than $5 million in damages and up. Worth remembering, of course, was that California passed Proposition 47 in 2014, which makes thefts on items worth less than $950 a misdemeanor. You got it? Less than $950. So I don't know. It makes you kind of think everything is kind of iggy when you start thinking about it, because what the hell is going to happen now there? 90 containers a day. Talk about the shipping industry being in some kind of trouble, that's for sure. Currently 28 minutes past the top of the hour. Let's get into some more stuff before we get into the other things that we're going to do. So that's going to be important. Storms are up and down the East Coast, triggered a widespread flight delays and power outages in the southeastern states. In North Carolina, 2 people were confirmed dead from an accident on icy roads. Airline carriers canceled at least 1,500 flights on Monday morning as the wind, ice, and snow covered much of the Northeast, but still an improvement from over Sunday, where there was 3,000 flights canceled. 3,000, my friends. 3,000. Think about that for a moment. Anyways, Peloton is going to charge delivery and setup fees for the first time ever. After January the 31st, expect a charge of $250 for a bike model and $350 for a tread offering. The company say that the fees are a result of the inflation and the bungled supply chain driving up production costs. So there you go. I wonder if it has anything to do with their stock being down as well, because of what happened according to the new series of Sex in the City, the spin-off version. I'm just asking the question. Just asking. Don't blame me. Okay, I'll throw it out there.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, you ready for this? Netflix is raising subscription prices again. The top plan of the 4K streaming will now cost $19.99 a month. It's the third price hike in as many years. Netflix support sites indicates that the fees are currently applied to new subscribers, and the current members will gradually see the new fees within a 30-day notice. So what the hell? Didn't they just raise it to like $17.99 not so long ago? I mean, I can't even keep up. I have to tell you, with this whole thing, when they started talking about how cable was going to be like cord cutting and it was going to be cheaper and all these subscription models, man, I can't even keep up with all the crap that I have that I'm subscribed to now. And when I take a look at it, I go, am I really saving any money? Because I don't feel like I am, but that's a whole other story. Anyway, it's good to be Mike Luciano, the Pennsylvania resident, has won his 4th lottery, bringing lifetime winnings to $4.6 million. He first won big in 1999 with $100,000, followed by a huge $3 million prize in 2016. Last year, he scored $500,000, and his most recent was $1 million from a $20 scratch off. For what it's worth, Luciano tells The Sun that he does have a gambling addiction. Well, apparently it's a gambling addiction that's paying off, but that's a whole other story. Anyways, it is 30 minutes past the top of the hour. I think it's time to do that thing that we do around here, because it might be time for the main story. So let's go ahead and do that.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
You know we have to do it. You know we have to talk about it. We have to talk about these weird things that happen sometimes inside of your lifetime, and you just don't know what to do. So if you remember many, many, many years ago, depending on how old you are or how young you are, this might be a problem to remember this. But there was a movie a long time ago with Robert Redford, Woody Harrelson, and Demi Moore, almost a Demi Lovato, but Demi Moore, that was about an indecent proposal. And believe me, it's not movie review time with Jay here, but let's talk about it. It was essentially a movie that was related to Woody Harrelson being married to Demi Lovato. Demi Lovato, I knew I was going to say it. Demi Moore and Robert Redford offered them $1 million to be able to sleep with the wife. I know, whatever. It is what it is. Older style movie. You know, how would that hold up today? Whole other story. So anyways, that's the premise of the movie. And, you know, I have recently rewatched this movie. Not that I was a great movie the first time around. I always like Robert Redford, regardless of what he's in. But we went back and watched the movie one more time. And it started to jog my memory about times in life where you get those proposals, where you get those offers that you can automatically know that they're one time in a lifetime events. They're once in a life things where you are being offered something out of the ordinary, good, bad, or indifferent. But as you know, they are going to come with a cost. They are going to come with something extra. They're going to come with something on the backside of the whole thing. So as I sit here today and talk about this, and I sit here today and you and I have this discussion, how often have you seen this occur in what you do? How often have you seen this occur in what happens inside of different organizations? The reason that I ask this is because I don't think it is as uncommon as it is uncommon. So here's the fun part, and I don't know how much I should teeter-totter on this thing, but we'll talk about it because I think it's always interesting. I remember working for an organization, and this organization had this older gentleman and let me kind of be very specific here. This gentleman was, well, should I use the word gentleman? This guy was actually an older person, and he was a manager. And he ended up having sex with one of the employees, non-management, that he actually supervised. This was back, I'm trying to think here. Well, I probably shouldn't give years because people that don't know me will be able to trigger it out, but it's been a while. We'll put it to you that way. Now, of course, it was made a scene inside of the workplace that this was become known that this had occurred. Now, they had demoted the guy, didn't fire him, demoted the guy from his management position to a supervisory position and moved him from the location that he worked at to a different location, still within the same company. Now, the level of concern that was there, that the person, the employee, was going to sue the company, put them in a scarce, put them scaredy on what was going to happen next. So they didn't use the wording of sue, but they spoke and said to the person that had been taken advantage of, because that's really what it boiled down to. And they had the conversation of, here's what we would like to do. Because we have recognized all the merits in your workplace, we would like to give you a higher position within inside of the organization. So with the fear of them being sued, which they never were, the person did accept it. Now, was that a proposal initially of what had occurred? Probably not. But I think of so many scenarios that I've seen through inside of the workplace where you can tie these things together. One of the most recent companies I worked at, one of the actual CEO of the company was actually involved sexually with somebody else. But that's a whole other conversation. Becomes very interesting. And it was known. And the person almost ratted him out. And it became a whole ordeal where they ended up promoting the person, which was very odd. But this is how things happen. These are these indecent proposals for people not to get sued. And I think of so many times inside of workplaces on how these things do occur. And normally suing is on the back end of it. Now, I want you to think about this, and it's not really the name, shame, and blame game this morning, but it's thinking about some of these occasions where you have these weird offers in life that you know that if you accept them, there's going to be something else on the back end. And what is the risk that you're willing to take if you are to accept it? If they gave you the chair today that you wanted, they gave you the seat in the company you were looking for, they gave you the place behind the microphone that you wanted, is it something that you'd be cool with in the long run? Is it that indecent proposal? I mean, we could even talk about radio wars if you want to do that. We could even go into exposure that has happened in the Tampa market. I mean, that's a whole other stuff where people will slide behind just to get ahead. I don't know. Some of these times you have to take a look at these indecent proposals and go, what is it worth to you? And I know it's kind of a little bit all over the place this morning, and it was purposely meant that way because I want you to think about this. The next time something is offered to you, safety related, so next time something's offered to you, if you were, to look the other way, is it going to be worth it to you in the long run? Integrity plays a big factor on what you're willing to sell. Think about it for a moment. But then again, what do I know? Just a guy behind a microphone.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You are listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
Hey, are you tired of hanging around and talking about safety in a boring kind of format? Well, I got something for you. If you haven't hung out with us yet at safetyfm.com, I'm going to encourage you to do so. Yeah, if you come out to Safety FM, you can come hang out with all kinds of safety professionals. Some are safety professionals, some are just people that are talking about safety. But we want to do it in a format that makes it fun and entertaining. If you're kind of trying to figure out what the FM portion is, well, we're a radio station and also a podcast network. You can come out, hang out, and listen to my show, The Jay Allen Show. You can listen to Todd Conklin with the pre-accident investigation, Blaine J. Hoffman with the Safety Pro, the Hop Nerd, Sam Goodman, just to name a few on what can be found on the station. Different things for different people, trying to bring safety in an entertaining form. SafetyFM.com. Go to the website, download the app, and carry it with you all day long. SafetyFM.com. We'll be waiting for you.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets, and they all have one thing in common. Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard, that's optional. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Allison is perfect. I mean, she'd never tell you that. She's humble and perfect. She likes everyone. She even likes her untidy roommate's weird guinea pig. Allison, wait, are you texting and driving? Allison, no. That's the exact opposite of what I was just saying about you. Why, Allison? Why? Texting and driving makes good people look bad. Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
We are live outside the home of Joe and Rosie Goddard, where a pretty big tickle fight broke out just minutes ago. Sources say their father instigated the laughter. Let's go inside for a comment. Apparently, they have no comment. Dads, let this be a reminder that it only takes a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
These days, it can be hard to find and hire the right candidates for your small business. That's why LinkedIn Jobs made it easier to find the people that you want to talk to faster and for free. I have to tell you, even before they ever became a sponsor here on Safety FM, we have used LinkedIn Jobs to help find the people that we have here on Safety FM. It's an easy service to use. Create a free job post in minutes on LinkedIn Jobs to reach your network and beyond to the world's largest professional network of over 770 million people. Focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience and use screening questions to get your role in front of only the most qualified candidates. Then use the simple tools on LinkedIn Jobs to quickly filter and prioritize who you'd like to interview and hire. It's why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs #1 in delivering quality hires versus leading competitors. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the candidates you want to talk to faster. Did you know that every week nearly 40 million job seekers visit LinkedIn? Post your job for free at linkedin.com/safetyfm. That's linkedin.com/safetyfm to post your job for free. Terms and conditions do apply. And don't forget to mention that Jay Allen sent you. Okay, there you go. This is Cannot Escape by Cushy. This song's readily available on Spotify and iTunes. I would like to thank Cushy for allowing us to play this morning on the Rated R Safety Show. And you know already, I'm going to give you the tech or no spill. I can't stop it. I like it. I like it. I like it too much. I like it too much. Okay, so let's get back into the things that we need to do here. It is currently 43 minutes past the top of the hour. You and I are hanging and banging, clanging and banging, clanging and banging. There you go. Anyway, so let's talk about this. A federal judge has dismissed a lawsuit against Netflix brought by the grieving California father who said the TV show 13 Reasons Why was to blame for his 15-year-old daughter's death by suicide on April of 2017. He accused Netflix of using sophisticated algorithms to target highly vulnerable children, including his daughter Bella Hinder. He alleges that the kids were directly manipulated into watching dangerous content. Netflix disputed the accusation, saying that the court filing the restriction on programming would be a result of self-censorship. Bella's father said that he plans to appeal the ruling. This is according to Yahoo. So there you go. So I don't know. What do you think about it? A lot of stuff going on there. Did you ever watch 15 or 13 Reasons Why? I think it's an interesting show. Makes you bring a lot of things to the forefront, that is for sure. Anyways, 44 minutes pass, and let's talk about this, because I think that if we don't do it now, we're not going to do it later, or should we do it now? And let me tell you about this, because this is the most important part that I'm going to tell you anyways. So let me explain to you what my friends at the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention do. Whether you have struggled with suicide yourself or have lost a loved one, know that you're not alone. Hear about personal experiences from people in your local communities whose lives have been impacted by suicide and depression. If you want to find out more information, all you need to do is text the word TALK to 741-741. That's the word TALK to 741-741. Or you can call 1-800-273-8255. That's 1-800-273-8255. Or go to afsp.org. afsp.org. Now, listen, I'm going to tell you, a lot of people don't like having this conversation. And it's okay. Don't want to talk about it? We need to talk about it. So we need to get to the point where we're okay and people are not feeling shamed that they're depressed. We don't want people to feel shamed that they had suicidal thoughts. At some point, most people encounter this in their life. It could be through a friend. It can be through a family member. It could be themselves. So it's better to have all the information that you can right now. And if you get involved and see what's out there, how you can get help, all you have to do is go to this website or text the word talk, or call the 800 number. I think it's a simple process, something we should talk about. I think at some point, at some level, we've all had, like I said, an encounter with this in some way, shape, or form. But that's what I think, and I think we should talk about it more and more often. As you can see, I talk about this on a daily basis because it's that importante to me. It's that important to me. So that's why I want to talk about it all the time. Anyways, let's continue talking about some other things that are going on inside of the world, because I think that it's time to do so. Choose to chew. Taking more time to enjoy your food may also help you avoid obesity. Researchers in Japan found that chewing more leads to human body expending more energy and increasing the metabolism of food in the digestive system. The new study conducted by Waseda University reveals that the oral stimuli, which has the connection of tasting food and the amount of time spent chewing, both play a role of increasing how much energy someone uses while eating. As a person chews their food longer, their body uses more energy. This increases metabolism of their motility, which also leads to the heat generation by the eater while they're having their meal. While the difference of the energy expenditure is small, the scientists say that cumulative effect over multiple meals each day during the course of a year is substantial. Plus, if you have friends like mine, it gives you more time to steal your fries, also helping you avoid obesity. So there you go. If you have a teenage boy disregards everything I just said, it's hopeless thinking that it would do anything but scarf down meals in 45 seconds flat. So just stuff to think about as we are talking. I mean, I don't know. I have heard that for years. You know, you want to liquefy your food as much as possible as you are chewing it. I've been told as high as 80 chews per bite, which I think is astronomical. So there you go. Anyways, let's continue talking. Charging station, as the world's increasingly accept the fact that someday soon alive in the world where we'll live in a world where all vehicles are powered by electricity, car makers Audi has debuted an electric vehicle charging hub. Says the experts say that it's the taste of the future. The facility, which opened at the end of 2021 in Germany, features 6 quick charging stations at ground level, built from Second Life batteries recovered by the dismantled cars. It also used solar panels and standard electrical connections to provide enough juice to fill at least 80% of 80 cars per day. It takes about 23 minutes to charge a car, from 5 to 80% during the drive, which can take a while away of its time with a lovely lounge upstairs. Audi offers a one-time food delivery and vending machines, plus mobile car care. Service staff look after the customers in a 200 square meter, 2,100 square foot lounge, which also has a patio. They have been a place to relax. There's also a 98-inch screen television. Audi models can be configured, or information about the Audi charging hub functionality or a car current charge level can be retrieved. So there you go. The lounge also features electric scooters lending service, information about various Audi products, and test drives of the latest Audi vehicles. And I imagine if you ask nicely, you can get your phone charged too. So there you go. And then any word of the word charge, I rear-end an Audi the other day, so now it's an innie. So there you go. Just some stuff to think about for sure as we are talking on this lovely morning. It is 50 minutes past the top of the hour. So as we are talking, I'm going to tell you, if the future is electric cars, which we keep on hearing, what I'm going to be wondering about is 20 minutes to get your car charged. That's going to be something. I mean, think about it for a second. Think about it for a moment. The average fueling of a car, and I'm not dogging it, I mean, just saying, the average fueling of a car takes what, 5 minutes? 10 minutes? I mean, still, that's going to be some time. Anyways, just some stuff to think about. Let's bring some Johnny Smalls back in here. Let him talk to you about the Motivation Minute to see if we can get you motivated today.
The Motivation Minute is courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. Today's quote has been submitted by Steve. Byron Katie said, "It's not your job to like me, it's mine." I like this quote. With social media, it's more important than ever to make sure your kids know this little bit of info too. When people hide behind a screen name, it's pretty simple for them to say some mean things. Remember, it's just bad words on a screen. Your self-worth and your real value does not come from what they think. Instead, rise above and be kind back to them. That makes you look very good. And an added benefit, it usually makes them a little bit angry because they don't even know how to react to something like that. This has been today's Motivation Minute, courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. They're known for insurance quotes. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Your Wellness Minute is brought to you by AlysaMorgan.com. Most of us heard about the idea that we have higher chances at achieving our goals if we align them with our values. So what does that mean for health-related goals? Here are 2 important questions I invite you to reflect on today. Question 1. How will your health goal or intention support your other goals, dreams, or priorities? Second, if it does not support it, how will this misalignment impact you achieving your goal? If we don't increase awareness about our priorities, it is easy to decrease the amount of attention we give to a goal that is less important than others. For example, if your current biggest priority is your career, it is normal that you will choose to spend extra hours at the office instead of going to the gym. But if you do reflect on how getting healthy will support your other goals, you will be more likely to approach your health goal in a way that allows you to put in extra hours at work. For additional resources, check out AlysaMorgan.com.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Okay, there you go. 52 minutes past the top of the hour as we are hanging and doing and moving and grooving. Okay, Oreo cookies will turn 110 on March the 6th. To celebrate Nabisco, the makers of the world's best-selling cookie are releasing a special flavor, chocolate confetti cake. As you can imagine, it features lots of sprinkles. The cookies themselves are filled with sprinkles and 2 layers of filling. The signature cream flavor pumped with sprinkles and chocolate cake flavored cream. This is the first time that Oreo has ever used sprinkles both in or on the cookie. The celebration tree, the celebratory treats will be available starting January the 31st for a limited time. The popular sandwich cookie was first sold back on March the 6th, back in 1912. The National Biscuit Company to a grocery store in Hoboken, New Jersey. Oreo has regularly released special varieties, including Lady Gaga flavored. Really? Lady Gaga flavor? What did that taste like? And most recently, Toffee Crunch and the ultimate chocolate flavored cream cookie. I bet there'll be they're good, but I don't think that I could ever dip in anything called cake into my milk. That would just be weird. Great, but it's nice to change up a breakfast a little bit. And now that's what I can be managing for cookies for the rest of the time, because now I'll be thinking about that kind of cookie alone. Think about that for a moment.
Listen to our host of the Rated R Safety Show self-implode on our airwaves, only on Safety FM.
Oh, nothing better than self-imploding on the airwaves. Okay, so let's talk about it. Still seeing Christmas lights beaming from your house across the road every night and wondering exactly what or when that family plans to take down their decorations? According to a new study, nearly half of us judge our neighbors for leaving their festive winter decorations up too long. The survey of 2,000 U.S. residents found that 3/4 believe that others should pack away all of their decorations before the end of January, but 54% said that they don't want to be the first on their block to pack up their displays. So there you go. So if you're starting to see that, that's what's going on. I will tell you, there is a social media influencer that I actually follow, and she leaves her Christmas tree up year round, and she decorates it based on what festival thing is actually coming up, which I guess that's a good way to get around it if you're looking to do so. Anyways, we're already lagging behind, so let me jump around real quick and get you some information, because you're probably going to want that. No winner for Friday's night's Mega Million drawing. Tonight's drawing will be for $347 million jackpot, just in case you were looking, or a $239.4 million cash payout. So if you want to play the game, you got the opportunity to do so. Okay, so let's talk about some other stuff real quick before we get you out of here. If you're looking at some festivity days for today, we can give you some of those because there's always some. What do we got? Do we want to do festivity days or we want to do birthdays? Well, we're limited time. I'll just say these real quick. Kevin Costner, it's his birthday today. He was born back in 1955. Dave Bautista was born back in 1969. Jonathan Davis, from Korn, born back in 1971. So there you go. If you're looking for some days to celebrate today, I am sure that I have some for you. I just need to figure out where the hell I put them because now I can't find them. Is it important? It's always important. It's 56 minutes past the top of the hour because that's important content. My list has just went everywhere because I hit a button that deleted the other side, so I apologize about that. I'm sure I'll find it before it's all said and done. We might just be here the rest of the day just trying to figure this out. Okay, so let's take a look. I don't have them. I have deleted them, so I apologize. I owe you. Let me give you some whack facts though, because that's going to be important. The word kangaroos can not back up. On average, 3 people die each year from using their tongue to check a battery that works. Parasites account for 0.01 of your weight. Goodyear Rubber Company researchers concluded that shoe wear out faster on the right than they do on the left. And the electric chair was invented by a dentist. Some things to think about for sure. So there you go. Anyway, so that's pretty much going to wrap it up for us. If you want to come and hang out with us at radiobig.fm, I will be going over there to hang out and do the things that I do on that end. So you're more than welcome to coming out, hanging out, and doing so. So let's go over there and hang out together. All you have to do is go to radiobig.fm if you're not there already. Anyways, you've been listening to the Rated R Safety Show here on Safety FM and radiobig.fm. We can't do what we do without you, the most important part of Safety FM and Radio Big, and that is the listener. If I can't give you a random joke for today, I would love to give you this one. I often arrive late at the office, but I make it up by leaving early. If you need a phone starter for today, try this. What is something that you've never had to eat no matter how hungry you were? If you need something for the water cooler, you can try this. Question: when kids were asked what's something you hope your parents never do in front of your friends, this was the number one answer. Kiss them goodbye. So there you go. Anyways, thank you for taking a listen this morning. I appreciate all the time that I get to spend with you doing the things that we do together. Anyways, if I can leave you with a deep thought for today, I would love to leave you with this one. Find the person who will love you because of your differences and not in spite of them, and you'll have found the love of your life. Think about that. Think about that for a moment. Anyways, I know who you are. You know who I am.
Duh.
Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.